Hey y'all, it's your girl KozyWithKoat, and this is my very first YouTube video. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to talk to you guys. Although I'm a little bit nervous, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm in my jammies. Of course, Onyx decides that he wants to start chewing on his phone all loud while I'm talking, but it's fine. I'm in my jammies. I'm ready to go to bed. I mean, I don't wear my head wrap to bed like this, but I thought I would do my hair do my hair cute enough for this first video. So yay, I'm excited. I have been telling myself that I was going to do YouTube for years. People have been telling me for years to do YouTube, and I just never really got around to it. I am a big procrastinator, and I am also a big perfectionist. I think that my procrastination often comes from my perfectionism and like just thinking of all of the things that I want to do and have done, and the steps that I'm going to take to do it kind of hinders me from getting things started a lot of the time and or finishing up a lot of projects. But I am trying to be better at that, so I feel like this YouTube is going to be a challenge for me, but I think it's also going to be a very good creative endeavor. So I thank everybody who came out, who supported me, who told me to just do it, and I hope you guys stick around to watch the rest of the video. Thanks. So 2020 happened. 2020 was a thing. I know we're gonna try to act like it wasn't a thing. We're gonna try to move onward, forwards, and progress past it. But 2020 was definitely a thing, and we're about 10 days in to January right now, and I feel like I'm still kind of reeling from 2020. I'm still processing a lot of things that happened in 2020. I am rediscovering myself in a way. 2020 had a lot of, for lack of better terms, shit happened that I feel like all of us, most of us, if not all of us, had to decompress from. And I've been thinking a lot about that, and I've been thinking a lot about how I possibly want to turn over a new leaf in 2021, how I want to take better care of myself in 2021, how I want to go after my goals more often in 2021, and just live life to the fullest. And I feel like 2020, with just all of the death that happened, all of the political unrest and civil unrest, all of the just nonsense, like just utter nonsense that happened last year. I think that many of us are in a space where we want to truck it all along, and I've been thinking a lot about what that looks like to me, just changing the face of what it is that I want in life, what it is I want to go after. And so today I think I'm going to spend the day talking about some of my idols. Some of my idols and people who inspire me, people who I look to for drive, for passion, people who I look up to in the world of celebrity, because as much as we want to say we don't look up to people who are celebrities, or we don't aspire to celebrities or whatever, or celebrity culture, or whatever the case may be, I think there are people within the public light that we still appreciate for what they do, even if we don't love everything there is to love about them. There are people out there who we model ourselves after. And so I wrote a blog post about this. Actually, I just started revamping my website, just because the times are changing. Like, my branding has changed. For those of you who don't know me, oh my gosh, I didn't even I didn't even introduce myself. So I'll rewind. Hi everybody, my name is Courtney, but I go by Koat for the channel, and for my social media you can find me at KozyWithKoat on Instagram and Twitter. I don't really use Facebook. I'm not a Snapchat person. Not Facebook. Twitter and Instagram are my most two popular social media channels. So if you want to follow me, go on ahead. But yeah, my name's Koat. I am, what am I? I'm so many things. I am a Harrisburg, Pennsylvania native. I identify as a young black woman. I am interested in many things, as you guys will see on the channel, but just to name a few, I am in the field of diversity marketing, and so what do I do for my job? So I essentially help to create marketing materials that uplift and promote the visibility of marginalized communities, and that's just a fancy way for saying I create marketing that is for people of color and black people, for those of you who don't lump us all together. So yeah, I work in diversity marketing. I really love my job. I love being able to be creative and also do things that I feel benefit the communities that I belong to. So a lot of my work is just focused on programming, like educational programming that is offered to kind of give people more information about marginalized identities. So in doing that, I feel like I'm also reconnecting with my passion about just being connected to the community and being visible in the community and being able to bring the education that I gained back to the community. I went to Temple. I've been at Temple and I'm still here for the last 6 years. I got both my bachelor's and my master's degree from here. My bachelor's degree is in advertising, art direction, so graphic design is like my background, and then right now I'm in a master's program for innovation management and entrepreneurship, and I'm going to use those two things to basically build brands in the future. I'm very interested in branding. I'm very interested in cultivating brands. I'm interested in people as brands, and so I guess because I'm interested in all of those things, I decided that I was going to do more work to actually become my own brand and just, like work on being as authentic of a creator as I can. And so this channel is kind of like a, caveat to that. And so I was talking about I wrote this down because I tend to ramble, so I wrote down a bunch of things on my notepad. But I was talking about people that I aspire to, or people that I idolize in a way. And one of the people that I've been thinking about a lot lately is Beyonce. My good sis Beyonce. I love her. I love her so much. I don't know if I would say I'm necessarily like a hardcore Beehive member, but like I really don't do the Beyonce slander. Like don't talk shit about Beyonce in my presence. Like I will come for you if you try to talk about Beyonce in my presence. Reasons I aspire to Beyonce, she is like her mind. Like come on. Her mind is just far beyond anything that we have ever seen. Like they're hands down. Name a better performer. I guarantee you, the only people who will even touch her are in the Jackson family, Janet and Michael. Only two. She just, I don't know, the way that she carries herself, the way that she can so effortlessly move back and forth between like this hardcore ass, like, like real ass nigga. Like she just seems like a real nigga. Ooh, can I say nigga on YouTube? Anyway, we'll talk about that later. But she just seemed like she's real And then there are moments that we get from her where she just exudes this like this softness, this womanliness, this like motherliness. I love that about her. She has so much duality, so much complexity to her, and I always thought she was interesting. I remember being younger, my dad is a part of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And he used to take us to his frat house all the time, and he would always tell this story about how I would walk around his frat house singing Bugaboo. Bugaboo. Like at 3-4 years old, I knew all the words to Bugaboo. I knew all the words to Bills, Bills, Bills. I was just a Beyonce fan. I was a Destiny Child's fan. When Beyonce came out with Homecoming, when she put that out on Netflix, I watched that day in, day out. I saw Beyonce when she went to Hershey Park, came to Hershey Park once. I just have always been a Beyonce fan, just because she's so beautiful, but she's so regal, she's so graceful, she's so just otherworldly in a way, but she's also so down to earth. Like she exudes this like goddess-like energy to me, and she never apologizes for it. She is who she is through and through to her core, and that is an amazing thing to me. And then she's so smart, and she's so keen to business opportunity, and she puts her all into everything that she does, and she doesn't take on a project that she doesn't believe in, or that she doesn't want to put her 100% into. And so a lot of those things are just things that I want for myself as a creative. I want to be able to pick and choose exclusive projects to work on, and I want to do them so well that people look to me like, she's revered in her industry. She's revered in her, in her profession, or whatever the case may be. So much so that people love to work with her, and people want to work with her, but the chances to work with her is so slim, because she just, when she does something, she hones in on it, and she does it as best as she possibly can. And that's just, to me, that's a type of discipline that I've never had. So I've been thinking a lot about Beyonce. I think I asked myself the other day, when I was doing a project, or when I was kind of like, talking myself out of doing a project, or whatever the case may be, I was like, well, what would Beyonce do? Like, if Beyonce was on this project, how would she handle this? Or like, what would she say to herself to get herself back motivated? Because it, like, maybe I don't want to do it, or maybe it's not going the way that I thought it would, or blah, blah, blah. And so Beyonce is just like, she's just like this shining beacon of hope. Beyonce is my forever queen, and I love her dearly. And so I kind of use her as an example in my life in a lot of different aspects, just in the way that she conducts herself. To me, is the epitome of like the type of woman that I would want to be. Then we have my other queen, and now these are my top two. I have a lot of people that I look up to and I appreciate in the world of celebrity, and also in the world of like creativity. But these two are the people that I look up to the most. And the second person is Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah is like, name something she can't do. Name something she can't do. Put your best in the ring. Like nobody is really touching Queen Latifah, if you ask me personally. She's so talented. She can sing, she can dance, she can act, she can write. She's just so multifaceted. She can sing, she can write, she can dance, she can act. She's just she's all around just this super talented woman. Not to mention she's gorgeous. She has beautiful hair. She has beautiful skin. She's a freaking cover girl. She models. Not to mention she's plus size and she belongs to the LGBT community. So it's just like, name one person who can do it better. She's stylish. She's charismatic. Like whenever she goes in front of a camera, she just gives. She just, again, just like Beyonce, she exudes this energy of this goddess-like energy, but she exchanges so well between her masculine and feminine qualities that it's just like you never really know what you're gonna get from her. But you know exactly what you're gonna get from her because she's always herself 100% of the time, unapologetically. So I love Queen Latifah. I actually never really saw much of myself in her because of how old she was in comparison to how old I was when I was coming up. But I remember my grandmother said to me like, oh, you know, you remind me of Queen Latifah. And I was just like, Queen Latifah? Like the fuck? Like, what do you mean Queen Latifah? But the more that I started to think about it, you know, like, sis is a fan fave. She has so many good movies. Mad Money, Beauty Shop, and freaking, what was the other one? Just Fright are among my favorites of her movies. But she has so many more good ones. Like, what's the last movie she did? Girls Trip. Girls Trip was funny as hell. So yeah, it's just like she gives off the type of energy that I want to give off in terms of just being authentically herself, but also like not taking nobody's shit, and just like putting her all into her creative endeavors. Like, she knows what she's doing. She doesn't act like she don't know what she's doing. She puts herself up with the best. You know, she only takes on projects with the best. And to me, she's just such an admirable person inside and out. Of course, I'm talking about them like I actually know them, and I don't know them personally, but just who they are in their public facing views is, you know, there's very special people. And so I always thought like I would want to be like that. I would want to be like her when I grow up. In terms of Beyonce, Queen Latifah, I kind of thought about that later. I kind of got into the Queen Latifah phase when I was in like middle to high school after my grandma brought it up to me. But like even afterwards, I was like, oh yeah, like I can definitely see that. Like me and her are very similar in a way. So I appreciated her pointing that out to give me another direction in which to aspire towards. So thank you, Mama, for that. So just in thinking about those two women, and I mean there's a list of other women. I don't even have a number, but I would say maybe like top 10. I put Megan Thee Stallion. That's my girl. Meg, that's my sis. For the very same reasons: graceful, beautiful, duality, complexity, charismatic, all that. Issa Rae, The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl got me through a lot of tough days, so I love Issa Rae. Maybe I should have said top 5 instead of top 10. I don't know, I can't think of anybody else right now, but you know, I'll probably edit that part out. Anyway, so just in thinking about those ladies and thinking about the impact that they've had on my life, I've been considering what it is that holds me back so much from going after the things I want and or believing that I deserve to go after the things that I want, or I deserve to reap the benefits of the things that I want. And it really came down to me having this fear of failure that kept me from doing a lot of things, or this fear of ridicule, criticism, just like outside input. I had this fear of losing myself in other people's opinions, because you know, when you're an artist, you're sensitive about your shit. So it's hard to create and then put something out and people not like it, or people not engage with it, or it just doesn't hit the way that you want it to hit. And I've always been scared of that. I've always been afraid of doing something large scale and not coming out the way that I want it to come out. And so I had to sit myself down and be like, girl, if you were freaking Beyonce, what would Beyonce do right now? What would Beyonce be saying to herself right now? What would Queen Latifah be saying to herself right now about this project that you want to do but you won't put out because you don't believe that it's going to do, it's going to have the success that you believe it should have, like, why are you so doubtful in yourself? And I've been trying to figure out how to regain that spark, regain that passion that I once had for just creating things, doing things out of the blue, doing things out of the norm, doing things that I've seen other people do, but maybe not at my age, or maybe not at the scale that I'm thinking, or maybe not in the way that it's been done before. And one of the things that I had to realize is that I was burnt out. Oh my gosh, 2020 burnt me out. I mean, even before 2020, I was burnt out. I went to an honors middle school, an honors high school, and then I went to Temple for 6 years. So I've been in school since I was 5 years old. I'm 23 now. So it's like, I'm sick. Like, I'm sick and tired of doing projects, regardless of if they're creative or not. I'm sick and tired of doing large scale things. I needed some time in quarantine. Quarantine did a great job at forcing that introspection on all of us. Like, I need time to think about what it is that I really want in my life, and how I can make steps towards getting there, and what's really holding me back. And I was so held back by this idea that nothing that I was going to do was going to succeed at the height of which I wanted it to, or it wasn't going to pay me enough, or it just wasn't worth my time, because I was already tired, and it was going to be tedious, and it was going to be this, and just making excuses about where these projects were going to take me, and how they were going to take me off the course of who I wanted to be. But it got to a point where I didn't know who I wanted to be. It got to a point where I was so far removed from the things that I like to do that quarantine kind of had to steer me back and be like, girl, you are a creative. You've always been a creative person, and you like to do big things. And so what if you fail at some stuff? Failure is the best teacher. And so I had to get better with the idea of that too, of being able to fail at things, and being able to pick up the pieces after I failed at things, and look at them and analyze them, and be like, okay, so what worked, what didn't, what can we do better next time, and how do we heal from the things that don't go the way that we want them to go. So instead of taking on a new big project every time I had an idea about something, I decided that I was going to take a lot of time to work on myself. And that sounds like such a cliche answer. I hate when people tell me that answer, like, oh, just focus on yourself, just go do some self-work, reconnect with your soul, blah 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 blah. Like, it sounds like a bunch of bullshit when you hear it, especially when you're in the thick of things. Like in 2020, like, nobody wanted to hear, well, it's a great time to focus on yourself. It's like, no, I'm fucking lonely. Like, I'm lonely as shit. I feel unloved. The world is going to fucking burn. It's a lot. It was genuinely a lot, but I think it was the push that we all needed to be like, okay, I cannot control anything that's going on outside of myself. Like, all of this shit is gonna do what the fuck it does. And so how do I make myself the most stable while the world does what the fuck it does? And my thing became self-care. My thing became setting aside time for myself to just like be with myself. I started meditating a lot. I started to write. I started to dabble in tarot cards. I did all the typical stuff: journaling, reading books, taking walks out in nature. I bought a dog. Like, I did a bunch of different things that I had always wanted to do, and I felt like I didn't have time to do because I needed to reconnect with myself. I needed to figure out, what aspect of my life was genuinely missing, and like what part of it I was moving out of the way and making excuses for. And that led me to now, 10 days into January of 2021, and I feel like I just live my life so much more intentionally. I feel like I try so much harder to make the most out of my day, because I know that during quarantine there were many days where I would just sit and just be in my head, or sit and watch TV, or sit and do mindless things that didn't make me feel full inside. And so in January, I decided that every day that I wake up, before I get out of my bed, I'm going to set an intention for the day, and I'm not going to go to sleep until my intention for the day is completely finished. So today, my intention for the day was to record a YouTube video. My full intention for today was to record a YouTube video, and I knew that it was going to be the last thing that I did before I went to sleep, because I decided that YouTube, for me, I didn't want it to be like a high maintenance thing, because it was going to make me not want to do it. And so here I am in my freaking jammies and my bra talking to a camera at 10, 11 o'clock at night, because it just made the most sense for me and for my day. But I really wanted to do it. I really wanted to start this YouTube channel, and so my intention in starting this YouTube channel and starting this project was to try and offer a space, like offer a community, offer a space, offer like a break, just a way for people to be able to, a resource is what I was looking for. For people to take a break, for people to come and just watch, and to relate to someone who is, trying to figure it out. I think we're all just trying to figure it out, and I think we all need to be more honest about the fact that we don't know what we're doing a good bit of the time. I mean, I started this video off like I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just sitting here talking to the camera. But I realized that it can be therapeutic in a way to sit with yourself, and to have conversations with yourself, and to sort through your thoughts out loud. And I think it's therapeutic to kind of like be with someone, even if you're not fully present with them, but like to be in a space with someone who's doing that, because it gives you room to be able to allow yourself to do it. And so I really created this YouTube channel because I was thinking of things that I had always wanted to do, or I had always been pushed to do, and creating a channel was one of those things. But I also really wanted to connect to this idolized person that I've had in my mind. The more spiritual of us would say our higher selves, but I don't even think of it like that. I think of it more so as just like my future self, or like the Courtney that I want to be when I grow up. Like, who is she, and what does she do, and how can I make steps towards getting there before I am 30, 40, 50, 60 years old? Like, how can I create that reality for myself as it's happening, as I'm living it, instead of waiting for the reality to come true. And I feel like I'm rambling now, but yeah, you know, I feel like I have been, 2020 really taught me that there's so many things that are outside the sphere of our control, and the only thing that we really have control over is ourselves. And so what do we do with those moments? Like, what do we do with those self-relying moments where we know we have things that we want to do in life and that we want to pursue in life, and we need to pursue in life to make ourselves feel happy and fulfilled? How do we get from point A to point B, and who do we look to? Who do we look to as inspiration for becoming our best and most true selves? And so I guess with that, I'll leave you guys with the question: who are your idols? Leave them in the comments below, and tell me why. Tell me why they're your idols, and you know, what you hope to do in your future, like for your future self. Who is it that you want to be? Thank you so much for coming and watching. I'm so excited. I actually got through this whole video. I'm just excited. I redid my room, like I reset up my room, and like I'm really trying to cultivate the space for me to be able to do this YouTube thing. So anybody who watches this, anybody who's still watching this, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much, and I love you. And I'll see you on the next video.